Welcome to my Buddhist podcast, What's Your Favourite Cake? A podcast about how I use the daily practice of Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism in my life. I am an SGI member. SGI stands for Soka Gakkai International, but I am in no way acting on behalf of them. This is my journey and how I use my Buddhist practice to enhance my life, but with hope that I can inspire you on your journey too. This monthly podcast is available on Spotify as well as my YouTube channel, which is also where you'll find videos with audio that we can all chant along to, as well as study videos and my take on Goshos, as well as basics of Buddhism topics too. And I'm also on TikTok, Twitter and Facebook, where you'll see that now and again I'm a bit more silly. Just search for Nigel the Buddha on those socials. Podcast number 1, I am a diamond. Hi everyone, hope you're all doing very well indeed. Thank you for listening to my very first ever podcast. I really want to make these as relaxed as possible for us all. So go and get yourself a coffee, a cup of tea, whatever floats your boat, and let's start. First things first though, why have I called my podcast What's Your Favourite Cake, I hear you ask? Well, in my previous district meetings, we used to have loads of guests brought along by members all the while. It was fantastic. And whenever we did have guests, we would quite rightly introduce ourselves to make them feel welcome. And because this happened so frequently, I think I felt a bit like a robot. So one time I randomly said, I'm Nigel, I've been chanting since 2006, and my favourite cake is Victoria Sponge. I think that took everyone by surprise, but we all laughed, felt more relaxed. And when we introduced ourselves, we all said what our favourite cake was. Of course, we argued with, like banter, because some people didn't like certain cakes. I think I was maybe feeling a bit awkward. Meeting new people is often a bit of a stress for me at first. And what do I do when I feel awkward? Well, I try to inject a little humour. Try being the word there. And I think it's fun to know more about someone than just their name, don't you? I certainly do. Anyway, I think it worked, because next time we introduced ourselves, we would change it to we would mention our favourite song or favourite car, favourite colour, favourite movie, but we always came back to our favourite cake. So what's your favourite cake then? Please let me know. You mentioned mine is Victoria Sponge, but now I have celiac disease, so I have to be strictly gluten-free. And cake, especially Victoria Sponge cake, the gluten-free version is a bit tougher and a lot more expensive, so I don't eat as much as I used to. Anyway, I'm rambling on again as usual, so let's crack on with this podcast. So, I am a diamond. No, I am a diamond. That line is based on a quote by Daisaku Ikeda. You'll hear me quote him many times in these podcasts. He is the president of the Soka Gakkai International. The Japanese words Soka Gakkai mean value creating society. There are Soka Gakkai members and guests all over the world chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, as well as a daily practice of Gongyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo means, in English, I devote myself to the mystic law of the Lotus Sutra. And Gongyo is when we chant excerpts of the Lotus Sutra along with the chanting, which we also call Daimoku. We chant towards a Gohonzon, which is a scroll that contains Chinese and Sanskrit characters that depict our inner self, including our Buddhahood. Chanting helps us reveal the life state of Buddhahood within our own lives. It helps us to reveal our own limitless potential. Helps us to turn any negative situation into one that actually creates value. A sort of analogy we use for this is turning poison into medicine. When we turn our negative thoughts, words and deeds into positives, then we are creating value in this world. We start with ourselves and then positively affect our surroundings. I'll go into this a bit more on another podcast in the near future, so look out for the one entitled The Ripple Effect. So I was studying for an SGI online meeting in April 2021 when I came across the quote, "A diamond is always a diamond, no matter the setting." Now, those of you who know me and know my situation will know how I have struggled with my mental health all my life. But it wasn't until I was in my 40s when I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD. So most of my life I've spent thinking I'm just crazy. To be fair, I probably am crazy, totally crazy. Anyway, in all seriousness, I'm a Buddhist, not least because I do truly believe that everything comes from within. We look within ourselves to find solutions to the issues we face, don't we? But having said that, I do sometimes allow my situation and surroundings to dictate my life state. Autistic people deal or sometimes don't deal with the external stresses in the same way. So I wonder if it's that. Maybe. In any case, to be reminded that whatever my situation, no matter how bad things get in my life, I am still a diamond, well, that's extremely helpful to me. In the same paragraph where Ikeda writes, "A diamond is always a diamond, no matter the setting," he writes, "It's imperative never to forget the spirit to keep moving forward and always striving to the best of one's ability." So it's important that I at least determine to be my best self. But does that mean I should always give 100%? Actually, I don't like to use the word should. It's a word that puts pressure on me. Again, I'll go into that on another podcast. I think the next one, actually. So look out for the one entitled Shouldism or Buddhism. I'm quite proud of that title, actually. I do lead a sad existence, if that makes me proud. But anyway, isn't it better to just do the best we can on that day? I mean, some days I can't even get out of bed, let alone achieve a million things that day. When I feel totally overwhelmed like that, it's as much as I can do to get out of bed to use the toilet. And I do always succeed, by the way. It just might take me a while. So, am I no longer a diamond? Am I only giving 0% that day? No. I am still a diamond, no matter what the setting. Even if the setting is bed. Just a diamond in need of a rest. As simple as that. How's my first podcast doing so far? Please feel free to comment if you're listening on my YouTube channel. I'm planning on these also going on Spotify as well as YouTube, so if you're enjoying it there, then please share what I'm doing with others. I'd also love to hear how you deal with your own issues too. I hear a lot of people say they take their issues to the Gohonzon. And of course, for us Buddhists, it's the very best place. But what if we don't have Gohonzon? For whatever reason, or even if you don't chant, you might have a different belief system, for example. Or, well, you just might think I'm talking rubbish, utter rubbish. I'm always open to the opinions of others. I might not carry out their advice or even totally agree with what they say, but it doesn't make their advice any less valuable, and I always listen. Actually, I should put a disclaimer on that one, just in case my wife is listening. Darling, I do listen, honest. I just forget easily. I think I got away with that one. Actually, I'm going to be doing one of these podcasts with my wife. Be interesting. We have similar belief systems, but don't agree on absolutely everything. I mean, does any married couple? So I'm not sure about the title of that one yet. I'm getting there. I've got some ideas, but it'll be interesting for sure. One important thing about being a diamond, no matter the setting, is if we viewed it the other way around, we are not actually being Buddhists at all, are we? I mean, what if I told you that if you bought a brand new sports car, it would absolutely make you happy? Would you believe me? I'm sure many of you are nodding right now, but I doubt it actually would make you happy. Let's go through that scenario. So you win the lottery, you can afford a brand new supercar, like one of those fast, shiny red ones, or my favourite, the ones with the acronym AM. Now, it would surely enhance your mood and probably lift your life state, but only for a while. You then spend all your money and you lose the car. Then what? If your car was where your happiness was, then your happiness is gone and you are in a low life state again. Applying this scenario to the diamond quote, it would then read, a diamond is only a diamond if the setting is good. It's the same with our partners, our friends, our home. If we view anything external as the place where we find happiness, then we are 100% set up to fail. That's the difference between relative happiness and absolute happiness. I've just described relative happiness in the analogy of the supercar. Such happiness is fleeting. Absolute happiness is when we are indestructibly happy. Our hearts are filled with utter joy, whatever situation we find ourselves in. I remember when I was nearly 10 years old, I was sitting on the sofa talking to my mum in the lounge. She was preparing the coal fire. I don't remember the exact conversation, but I was trying to crack silly jokes as usual. Still trying. I really am. If you can let me know when I succeed, that would be awesome. Anyway, Mum commented how nice it was that I kept trying to crack jokes. And I responded with, and I quote, I remember the exact quote. I said, I was put on this earth to make people happy. Now, do I truly believe that now? I'm going to go with no. I mean, I've just spoke about relative happiness, haven't I? So actually, I couldn't make everyone happy, and I still can't. Sorry about that. So sorry. You'll have to do that yourself. But the sentiment was wonderful, wasn't it? So beautiful. So I don't criticise my younger self at all, even if it's something I disagree with now. In fact, as I was writing this, it dawned on me that I realised my son is now 9, the same age as I was when I said that. And honestly, I would like to think that if he said what I said, then I would not correct him. I honestly believe that because it's such a beautiful thing to say. So we can't make others happy. We can only make ourselves happy. However, what we can do, of course, is to contribute to the happiness of others. And we do this by imparting the joy we feel in our own hearts to others. So not only are we diamonds no matter the setting, we can shine so brightly as a diamond that we help others shine too. How beautiful is that? And it has to be in that order. It's true to say that when we are kind to others, it gets reflected back to us and we feel the positive effects. But we need to be kind to ourselves first. Much like my dad, he used to say, you can't love anyone else if you can't love yourself. True. Very true, Dad. but you clearly didn't practice what you preached there, did you? But that's another thing I'll go into in a different podcast. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my very first podcast. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it and got inspired. Come chant with me live on my YouTube channel and go check out my TikTok page for Sancho videos. Details at the end of this podcast. Okay, so I'm going to finish with another quote by Daisaku Ikeda, and this one is my favourite quote ever. It really helps keep my focus on making the good causes, creating value, being the person I want to be, being the person I really determine to be. So here goes, and I quote, "Resolve to be the sun. This is the first thing you must do. As long as you are the sun, no matter what problems you may be facing now, the dawn will always break, fine weather will always return, and spring will never fail to arrive." You have been listening to What's Your Favourite Cake, a monthly podcast about how I use Buddhism in my life. Come join me on my YouTube channel where every day at 12 p.m. UK time I'll be going live, doing Gongyo plus 30 minutes Daimoku. Work out the time difference where you are and join me if you can. So that's every day at midday GMT. I'm also doing shorter TikTok videos where I'll be doing Sancho and then reading an inspirational quote, which I'm sure will set us all up for a fantastic day. Thank you so much for listening.